Well, I'm Cullen Haynes, and welcome to Live with Cullen Haynes, Dad Live, episode numero uno, our debut episode. And I really wanted to get this one fired up. So thank you so much for all your support. I really put this one together because, when I had my first child with my wife 3 years ago now, we left the hospital and I said to Madam, are we really allowed to take this baby out when we have no idea what we're doing? And from the fatherhood side of things, that was certainly the case. And I constantly found myself getting fantastic tidbits of knowledge from other parents, other fathers that had gone through the same journey, trying to balance the struggles of work and trying to do well there, but also be present and, fully in the moment at home. And over the last 3 years, I've had some great experiences on that note. And it was my last conversation deep on one of my other LawLives, episode 82, with Michael Seton, where we talked about fatherhood and we talked about everything that goes with it. And it got me thinking, why not actually create a platform? Because as far as I'm aware, there's not a space for professional fathers and non-primary caregivers that are supporting their partner to come together and actually trade insights as to what's worked for them and how they found the journey. So debut episode of DadLIVE. So thank you so much for subscribing. If you know a new father or one that is about to embrace the journey or doing well on the journey or otherwise, please share it. It'll be out anywhere you get your podcasts. I'll do my best to upload it tonight. It is now Wednesday, the 1st of July. And my next guest is, I say this every time, but he's a true gem and absolute powerhouse on both the legal side of things, but as a parent and a father. And that's why I wanted to bring him to you today. And I thought it was very special debut episode because there is a few things and gems that he does that I've certainly learned a lot from. So I'm going to bring to the stage my dear friend, Mr. Michael Seton, the principal, founder, and solicitor at Seton Family Lawyers. Welcome to DadLIVE, Michael.
G'day, Cullen. Lovely to be here. Lovely to spend a bit of time chatting with you again.
Mate, it's good to be here, mon ami. And to kick things off, I'd love to ask you, when did you start your parenting journey? So when did you become a father?
2016 was the year, so coming up to a decade of chasing excellence. That was when my eldest of 3 children were born.
Amazing. And life is different, but you never would change it for the world, right?
Massively different. It's like an entirely parallel universe, but yeah, indeed, I would never change it for what I have now.
Absolutely. And if you do want to learn more about the legal side of Michael's life and all the insights and leadership things he does differently, including dogs in the family law office, that's a big thing, listen to episode number 82. But to kick things off on this episode, what does a normal morning look like for you right now as a dad?
Presently, and for quite a while, Cullen, it usually starts about 4 a.m. The key focus is getting up before the chaos, before the kids get up. That time usually devoted to a bit of personal time, so training, particularly running at the moment, coffee with my wife, Kayla, the quiet before the storm. Then once the kids are up, we're off and running. Some mornings are early into the office, but most others are juggling the school and activity drop-offs.
Absolutely. And I noticed you said you get up at 4 a.m. So you're part of the 4 a.m. club, not the 5 a.m. club. That's obviously essential for you because if you don't do it then, it's probably never going to get done, or you're either trying to stay up late to do that. Is that right?
Yeah, it's very much the former, Cullen. If I don't get it done early, the time pressures will get on top of me later. So just prioritizing that, forming that habit has been a huge help in my both professional and personal lives over the years.
Absolutely. And what's the first thing, if it does go wrong, what is the first thing to go off track in the morning if it does?
Invariably, it is at the hands of my little boy. He's 4 years old. It'll be to play with dinosaurs, cars, do Spider-Man dress-ups, whatever the case may be. And invariably, I'm the one who loses track of time and often cause a mad scramble through the house to try and recover and get everyone where they need to be on time. But very, very happy to do it, to be a few minutes late, that's for sure.
Likewise. And any new dads out there, you will experience that. And just be kind to yourself, and be sure to give your colleagues a bit of a heads up, and I'm sure they'll understand as well. But digging into the reality checks, because what I'm hoping for with this podcast there, Michael, is that people gravitate towards it that are about to go on this journey, or they've just got in it and feeling overwhelmed. What surprised you most about becoming a dad that no one warned you about, that you wish someone had told you before?
Sure, Cullen. There's actually two things. The first is I thought being a good dad was about providing. But I realized pretty quickly it's actually more about being present. It's not what you buy your kids, it's about how you make them feel. And the second thing is that your kids will not do what you tell them to do. They'll do what they see. So becoming a dad made me realize very quickly that I need to model the behaviors that I want them to value, not just tell them about them.
It's very, very true. And I would say they're like Siri. They are listening all the time. And it's amazing. You're just doing something random and they'll just repeat something maybe from an hour ago, a day ago, a week ago. And you're like, oh my God, I didn't even realize they were listening to that.
Absolutely.
And obviously you've got the balance down. It sounds like you've got it down to a T right now. But what's been harder than expected about balancing, or maybe that work home life quality for you?
Yeah, thanks. Very gracious of you to say I've got it down to a T, but I think the fact is I don't, and that's probably the hard thing about it, right? I've realized that balance isn't something that you achieve. It's not that unicorn that you can grasp. It's something that just keeps adjusting. Life changes, priorities change, commitments change, what's going on in your family's life changes. So it's a constant balancing act. It's a constant adjustment. Work and family both deserve you at your best, but not necessarily at the same time. So the key I've found is just making sure that the people who really matter, that they never have to wonder where they sit in your priority list.
Well, I'm endeared by what you're saying. And one of my late great mentors, Mr. Jim Rohn, used to say this: when you're at work, be 100% at work. Yes. And when you're at home, be 100% at home. Now, that's not saying it's not about work-life quality and balance, because it is, but trying to do both. Like when you're at work, you're trying to do the things at home, and when you're at home, trying to, log on while the kid, just, you can log on again later, but just be in the moment. Yeah. Is that that's what you're basically trying to say, right?
I agree entirely. It is. There's nothing we can't do. We just can't do it all at the same time. So be sniper laser focused on what you're doing, whether that's present with work or present with your family.
No, I love that. I love that. And is there a recent moment of chaos at home that made you stop and laugh?
We've recently added chickens to our family. They are free range, roaming around the property, very inquisitive, very delightful little creatures to have as part of our family. And on the weekend, I was chopping firewood and I split one log and the chickens came running because of all these teeming insects and bugs that fell out. And I had to halt everything and just put everything on pause. And I realized that, why is it that there's 6 chickens present for a job that requires 0 chickens? And this seems to be what my life has become. I'm chicken babysitting. So that's my new lot in life.
That sounds clucking awesome, can I say?
Outstanding pun, Cullen, as always.
It's excellent. It's an extravaganza. Now, I will say we are live. We're, about 5-10 minutes into the stream. If you've got any questions on parenting, dad life, this is DadLIVE. So it is currently 1:12 Australian Eastern Standard Time. Please put them in the comments. We're beaming to you live. LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, X. Not TikTok today, but we'll get to that. But nonetheless, let's keep it moving. What's showing up? We talked about showing up for your partner and being as present as you can be. What does it actually look like in real life for you, would you say?
Well, for me, showing up, whether it's for your partner or your kids, it's about sort of asking, I guess, on the side of your partner, what can I do to make your day easier? How can I be a good co-pilot in life? It's rarely about that one grand gesture, right? It's about those hundreds of small practical ones, making space for your partner to have 20 minutes without someone going, mom, 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 or, picking up that extra school run or getting up a bit earlier and making the lunch boxes. It's those things that say we're in it together. And from the kids' perspective, it is just being so wholly committed to what they're interested in that moment. I referred before about getting distracted with my little boy, playing dress ups in Spider-Man. If that means that this morning I'm Venom and he's Spider-Man, or I'm going to be Captain America and everything, and throw yourself wholly into it. Have the voices, have the shield, have the rolling, have the action. Just be as committed to the role as you possibly can.
I love that. I can't wait to see the photos when they come out of your Venom costume, let me tell you.
It's not as flattering as one would hope, but I'll share them nonetheless.
Nonetheless, yeah. And early on I'm endeared by what you're saying also, because early on, I think I received some feedback from Rob Rich, financial planner, and he said, and he's been a father for many years as well, and he said, when I get home, the first thing I tell my wife or ask her is 4 words. How can I help? And that's it. That's all you need to do. Drop your bag. How can I help? And it's like, great, you get on this and you get on this and stuff like that. Yeah. I think that's so, it sounds simple, but the things that are easy to do are also easy not to do. So absolutely. I like what you say. Like, how can I be a good co-pilot? I think that's amazing, an amazing thing. What do you see dads doing either wrong or wasting the most energy on, would you say, either early on or just in general, is your opinion there, Michael?
Yeah, I think in terms of wasting energy, I think we as fathers can often worry too much about whether we're enough.
Yeah.
Is what we're doing enough for our families, enough for our kids? But realistically, particularly when you talk about kids, they don't need perfection. They don't need a superhero, a real life superhero. Dress up one, sure. But they need someone who shows up, someone who listens, someone who is authentic. If we're sad, we can be sad. If we're wrong, we can be sorry. And someone who just loves them unconditionally. That's so far beyond the definition of enough that it's often saddening to me that, and I've had moments in my own life as well, when I hear friends and colleagues that have these moments of reflection and say, well, I need to build this career and provide financially. Yeah, that's important. Don't get me wrong, but don't assume there'll be time later to build these memories with our families. Careers can wait, childhoods can't. So keeping a focus on what's important rather than whether you're enough, I think is probably something we could all do a little better at all sorts of times.
No, I'm picking up what you're putting down there, Michael, and I'm showing my age here, but it probably reminds me a little bit of that Cats in the Cradle and the Silver Spoon, little boy blue, like you say, oh, we'll spend time later, and all of a sudden they're in uni, and then you're wanting to spend time with them. So we don't want to get to that point. Let's be in the moment now.
The idea that scares me more than any is, when it comes to my kids, is that realization that one day it's going to be the last time they ask me to read a book to them. One day it's going to be the last time they ask me to kick a ball with them. One day it's going to be the last time they climb into bed in the middle of the night because they've had a nightmare. And I'm not going to know when that has occurred. I'm just going to look back and go, that was it. That scares me as a dad.
I've got chills. And it reminds me of, Madam showed me this. She's great for this sort of thing on Instagram. It was a dad picking up his son for the last time. I think he was 15 years old. And he just picked him up like for the last time. And then he started crying because he probably realized this kid, he's going to be, we're never going to be able to do that again. So enjoying those moments and realizing that we're in the good old days right now kind of thing. Yeah. Because you'll look back at the videos and go, holy crap, that was, I wish they were that small again and we did that.
Absolutely.
Indeed. And obviously it was overwhelming early on. It was for us. Was there a way that helped you and Kaylee reset for you in your journey when things did get a bit overwhelming?
Yeah, absolutely. It almost flows on from that last point, Cullen. It was always a case of reminding ourselves that this is a season or a chapter. It's not forever. The sleepless nights end, the chaos of the home, the endless tidying up, the mountains of laundry, the constant stream of commitments we have to get to. Those things will end one day, but the memories will stay. So focusing on what it is that we can do now and what we can enjoy now really helped us with a lot of practice. I'll say it didn't come easy initially, but really helped us to stay present and deal with those overwhelming feelings of, oh, well, I've got too much to do. Well, actually, do I? Does it actually have to be right now? can it just wait and we can sit and read a book? Having that, it is a season mentality really helps. Don't wish it away. Don't wish it away because you'll wish it back one day.
No, absolutely. Would you say that is the small thing, or is there another small thing you do that has a bigger impact than most people realize, would you say, if there was one thing that you do?
Yeah, I think the one thing that has always weighed on me professionally is how intentional I am when I arrive home each day. Being able to switch off from the office and come home and be dad. And some days it's harder than others, but being really intentional about that, because your family notices how you walk through the door, whether you like to admit it or not. They can pick up pretty quickly. Are you bringing your presence home, or are you just bringing your body home and your mind and spirit are elsewhere? Focusing on that is a relatively small action that takes a relatively small amount of time each day, but I really do think it has a far bigger impact than most people appreciate, and certainly bigger than I appreciated in the early days of my fatherhood journey.
No, well, I was going to ask, is it hard to switch off, or when is it hardest? But it seems like you have to switch off, otherwise you can't be that present when you walk into the door. So is there like a thing that you do in the car, or do you put on music? Like, how do you get to that point where you get to the door? Okay, now it's time. Put the cape on. Let's go.
It's a great question, Cullen, because it's one that I've asked other people, and where I've landed at this stage in my life is I like to have little rituals that allow me to disengage. They don't have to be big, but it might be because previously I lived quite away from the office. Now I live 5 minutes from the office, so I don't have that time to decompress. So at the moment, the one I use is get home and ask which of the kids want to go walking around the property and collecting firewood for the fire that evening.
Love that.
Gumboots on, beanies on, go for a walk, talk about what happened during the day, what they're excited about, what made them sad, what they're looking forward to, moving our bodies. It is pretty hard to walk around and do that and then come back 15 minutes later and not be completely disconnected from the office. There's lots of things here. Surely that works in winter. In summer, it might be taking the kids for a walk around the property and doing something as simple as building a little fairy hut under a tree. Just those really small tasks that require attention, deliberate attention. I find they're the ones that really bring you back to home.
No, I love that. And, what has helped in terms of realizing that there's maybe a change in how you define success as well? Because, I always say it's like Carl Jung, we go through the morning, afternoon, and evening of our life. And in the morning, it's all about being successful, making money, all these things. But maybe I've been thinking recently that becoming a father kind of puts you into that afternoon of life a bit quicker, where some of those things that were more important early on aren't as important now.
Yeah, absolutely. The real massive difference in mine is just where the plaudits come from, or probably more importantly, which ones you put the weight on. So don't get me wrong, as we build our careers all those years, Cullen and a lot of our listeners out there will know we strive so hard, and we enjoyed that great case that we ran, or that promotion we got, or that award we received, and that
absolutely. May it please the court. Yes.
Exactly right. But that would fill our cup. But now that is nothing compared to hearing your kids say that they're proud of you. Hearing them say that they're excited about the fact that you've just completed a marathon, or we've just completed the coaching season, or they saw a photo of you in the paper and that made them proud and they cut it out and took it to school for show and tell. That means immeasurably more. So it's still things that tickle us and fill our cup, but it's the source, where it's coming from, that I think has really changed in terms of defining success.
Yeah, and I want to piggyback of what you said, because your kids really do just want your presence, and some of them may not even know what you do. I'd be interested to know if your kids had to explain what you do for work, what would they say?
They know about the judge. Whenever anyone asks, they sit there and say, Dad does two things. One, he talks to the judge and helps people sort out their problems. They seem to think it's a far more flowery version than it is, but that's okay. I'm happy for them to believe that for the time being. The second thing is I'm just Coach Mike. They know that very well amongst their friends, all the teams that they participate in that I coach. It's a moniker that I have accepted initially begrudgingly, but now gladly, when I'm walking around and at a cafe and I hear a little voice yell out, "Oh, it's Coach Mike! Hi!" That's the best. And if my kids think that law is a side hustle, while ordinarily I'm coaching kids' sport teams, fantastic. I'd love them to have that view.
I'm sensing a Netflix special, not Coach Carter, but Coach Mike. Is going to be
happy to split the proceeds. That's a fantastic idea. Cullen, we'll get the royalties checks going both ways for us.
Get it going. And what sports do you coach? Sounds like there's a plethora that you're in charge of.
Yeah, presently I coach my daughter's soccer team, my daughter's OzTag team. I've just ceased coaching my other daughter's cricket team, and I believe something is being lined up for later in the year that I'll remain silent on until I get forced into that space as well.
I'd love to know, is there any win one for the Kipper speeches you like to give, or any phraseology or quotes you often give on the pitch or off the pitch, as it were?
Not so much focused on the win one for the gaffer, but certainly the line I use a lot is "we go again." So yes, we pick ourselves up. Doesn't matter, win, lose, draw, success, failure. We go again. And the other line I tell the kids a lot is there's no such thing as failure. There's just learning.
I love that.
We either win or we learn, or we do both. And yeah, they're sort of the two sentiments I'd love the kids I get involved with to take into life.
Oh, I love that. And I think many others who are watching this will probably get a lot out of it as well. Almost coming towards the middle to the end of it there, Michael. I've got some absolute wonderful gems to ask you and find out a little bit more. What does a good day as a dad actually look like for you now, would you say, when you're reflecting on it?
It's really, it is any day that the kids are involved.
Yes.
I don't like to try and quarantine days off and say, oh, on the weekend it will be good because I get to spend time with. No, a Tuesday is fine. Within our schedules, within our commitments, we can always find time to spend time with them. So there are, regrettably, in my line of work days, and sometimes multiple days in a row where I don't get to see them if I have trial commitments or if I have to travel for various commitments. Those days are sad. I genuinely hit a tipping point at about the 2 to 3 day mark where I'm just like, okay, I'm over this. I want to go home now. So I think any day where they're involved, whether it's big, small, whether it's picking up firewood, whether it's going to sport, whether it's sitting and reading a book, whether it's watching a movie, whether it's kicking a ball outside, whether it's rollerblading, whether it's riding a bike, whether it's going to the beach, bushwalk, anything, big, small, or anything in between, just the time spent with them. Even sometimes reordering their room and bookshelf. I
love that. Yes. Making fun. It a bit different, changing it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What's something you're still figuring out, if you don't mind me asking, as a father?
Everything. It's I heard a great line not that long ago. It was when I got married, I had no kids and 3 theories on parenting. Now I have 3 kids and no theories on parenting. And I think that was far more insightful than probably I appreciate when I first read it. But it's spot on. We're all just doing our best. We're all trying to work it out as we go along. Sometimes we do better than others, and that's okay. We just learn, we share our stories with our friends, our family, our kids, and we just try and be the best version of ourselves, a better version tomorrow than we were today.
I love that. It's not about being better than anyone else, but who you were yesterday. I think that's fantastic. And it reminds me, another Instagram video Madam showed me, I think if you've seen the movie Interstellar, he goes, travels through time. It's like a skit on that. The guy who's the father now goes back in time to see his version of himself as not a father. And he's calling and ripping into his friends who have kids who cancelled for a dinner and saying, how could you do that? What do you mean the babysitter's not there? And he's like, don't do it. And it's like all the things that you probably ripped in or like didn't appreciate when you didn't have kids. It is so different when you're on that other side of the fence, right? Like it is so different.
Absolutely. There was a great interview on a podcast I watched a little while ago where the chap being interviewed said, I don't remember what I did between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. before kids. Like, because that's the goal now, right? That's homework, that's dinner, that's bath time, that's getting ready for bed, putting them to bed. Like, what do people without kids do with that time? And more importantly, why aren't you billionaires? Like, you have so much time. Commit it to a skill, commit it to a business, commit it to anything. You have so much time, and it just echoes with me. I was like, yeah, what did we do? My goodness, we thought we were busy.
It's so true. Yes, if you didn't realize you didn't have time before, you really don't have time when you have your first. And then when you have your second or third, you've got no time, basically. Unless you get up at Mr. Seton's time of 4 a.m., there is no time. And unless you give your partner some other time as well. Now, what do you hope your kids remember most about you one day? Hopefully, Michael. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I hope they remember that their mum and I taught them that they can do hard things.
I love that.
It's a bit of a mantra in our house. No matter what we do, we're sort of learning to value the answer no as a complete sentence more in our household, and not overcommit. But everything we do, we want to teach our kids. We as a family, we individually, we can do hard things, no matter what. And if that's what they remember from about me when I depart my mortal coil, then I'll consider that job done.
Not Coach Mike, Coach Dad. Do hard things.
Indeed. All these wisdomous ponderings that I should be putting probably more on Instagram Reels.
No, absolutely. Well, we're going to help you with that, mon ami. We're going to take some outshots from this and put it out there, because, as I said, there is some gold being spun here, people. And any final questions, put them in here, guys. But I've got my final two questions. The first one is, what's something about fatherhood that no one tells you, but every father should probably hear?
Great question, Cullen. And I have dwelled on this a little bit, and I think it's this. In life, there's only two people whose opinions you really need to worry about. It's not your colleagues, not your friends, not even your family. The first person is the 7-year-old version of yourself with a head and heart full of hopes and dreams. And the second person is the 70-year-old version of yourself with a head and heart full of memories. They're both always watching. So every day, aim to make them proud. If you do that, the rest will fall into place. If someone had told me that in January of 2016, and it hadn't taken me 10 years to sort of wrap my head around that as a concept,
yes,
I think there's things I would have done different. And that's not to say I don't love where I am and everything we've done, but I just wish someone had told me that.
No, it's a beautiful sentiment. It's like the rocking chair test. Like, imagine that you're sitting there remembering that life. How do you want it to be? And I love that inversion of the little boy or the little person thinking about their hopes and dreams. They're both watching. I think that's a lovely way to put it there, Michael. And nice lead in and segue to our final question. When your own little ones, your own kids are older, what do you hope they say about the kind of dad you were, looking back on it all?
I think 3 words probably sum it up.
Yeah.
That eternal pursuit of that word present. I hope they genuinely do recall that I was present for the things that mattered for them. And sometimes I couldn't be, but there was good reasons, but I always made up for it. The second would be, for want of a better term, teacher. I hope that in more probably my actions more than my words, but both, that they have learnt a lot from the life that Kayla and I have tried to live before their little eyes. And the third would be a believer, that no matter what they want to do, no matter what they want to pursue, no matter how outlandish an idea or a pursuit might be, that nobody will believe and cheer harder for them than me. Once again, sort of revert to what I said before, if that's their reflections, when I'm later in life, I'll consider that job done.
That's amazing. You're doing that in spades there, Michael. And really appreciate you being on our debut episode of DadLIVE. Thank you so much, my friend.
Absolute pleasure, Cullen. Really appreciate the invitation. And I really hope there's some kernels for anyone out there that might be navigating this working and fatherhood and family life with us.
Absolutely. There definitely will be. And keep an eye out. I'm going to do my utmost to get this on the podcast tonight. So thank you to everyone who is joining in right now. And it's been a pleasure to be talking to you there, Michael. And thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in.
Thank you, mate. See you next time.
Good man. Thanks, Michael. And if you are a new father or dad and then you have some gems to share and you want to be on the show, we're booking out until the end of the year. It's actually becoming quite popular. I couldn't believe the support and I guess the need for this kind of thing when you're working and you're wanting to be fully present at work, but also be there for your family. So if you've got an interesting story or some gems to share, please feel free to get in touch. Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, just DM me anywhere. And thank you so much for yourselves for tuning in right now or re-listening. It really means a lot if you share it with someone who you know is about to undergo this journey, is going through this journey. And yeah, give us a cheeky like and 5-star wherever you get your podcast as well. Thanks so much, everyone. All the best. Make it count and be sure to be present. All the best, everyone, and take care. Hey there, Cullen Haynes here, Australia's leading broker for lawyers on LinkedIn, and here's why I want to talk to you today about my book, my new book, The Laws of LinkedIn, 23 ways to find your tribe, build your following, and make 7 figures on LinkedIn. When I started this journey 7 years ago, when we built, myself and Andrew, my business partner, we built legal home loans from the ground up, the pain point for us was we were at a standing start. No one knew who we were. We had no money, we had no contacts, and basically we had to find a way to make our voice heard, talk to our tribe, the legal community, and build trust. And the only thing we had at our disposal was LinkedIn, which was and still is free. There's over 1 billion people on LinkedIn, and I wish when I started, I had this book with me to guide me, because I basically distilled my 23 top leading hacks that we use to build our business to a 7+ figure, and I really want to get it out there and share it with you. So if you're back